Hello, this is Kim Ant. We've finally arrived at the stage of observation. I'll do my best to explain it clearly. Things that actually exist. Part 1. Lines in realistic drawing. As I explained earlier, to draw realistically, it's more important to establish a plan for how to draw. And before making that plan, observation comes first. By observing the phenomena we actually see, we'll think about how we should approach drawing from now on. When we first begin drawing, we usually start with lines. In theory, visual elements develop in the order of point, line, and plane. Point, line, and plane. In design theory, a point represents a coordinate or position, a coordinate-based concept. When two points are connected, a line is formed, a connection between points. When three or more points are connected and enclosed, they become a plane. When the enclosed area is filled in. In painting theory, points gather to form lines, and lines gather to form planes. Points become lines, and lines become planes. But in the practical system I've organized, it's a little different. The element we use most often is actually the line. We use lines to establish form, through sketch lines, and we also use lines to build value in shading, planes created by gathering lines together. Considering how frequently it's used, the line plays an extremely important role in drawing. Now let's look at what role lines actually play in the space we live in. Imagine physically touching the world around you as you search for lines. Observe by comparing it to real-world scale. Observe in the order things are perceived. Observe through differences in distance. Think about the concepts of 2D and 3D. And observe by zooming in closely. Have you discovered it? The space we live in is visually three-dimensional. And this 3D space is made up of planes and surfaces, which means that in a three-dimensional space, lines actually occupy very little. But if you carefully observe your surroundings, you'll still find lines existing somewhere. If lines exist, try finding the common characteristic of where they appear. Places that visually feel like lines. Areas where points appear connected. Or where lines meet and attach together. Did you notice it? They exist as things that are drawn or written. In other words, lines only truly exist on flat surfaces. Not in 3D space, but in 2D. Of course, three-dimensional objects also contain two-dimensional properties, because solid forms are ultimately made up of planes. So to summarize, within a solid form, planes exist, and lines exist as well. But when focusing on the core structure, lines occupy far less importance than planes. Color changes on flat surfaces, text, barcodes, logos. I'll collectively define these as patterns. So this is how lines function in reality. Then how should we apply this to drawing? Let's organize the idea. In expressive or stylized drawing, lines play a very important role. They help emphasize the characteristics of the material and create a painterly feeling. But if you want to draw realistically and create a sense of volume, you need to reduce the presence of lines. Clearly defined contour lines in drawing are, in most cases, closer to symbolic interpretations of visual information than to something that physically exists in reality. Maintaining those same visual properties on a flat surface is what connects the image to realism. The stronger the lines become, the more the sense of realism tends to decrease. So in this lesson, we explore the actual role that lines play in reality. The methods of expression will come after observation is complete. So don't rush ahead. Take your time and follow along slowly. I'll see you in the next lesson.